Hello everyone. Today we have an inspiring story about a student who was often called dull, but later amazed everyone with his creativity and hard work. This story will show you that no matter what others think of you, with the right mindset, you can achieve great things. Once upon a time in a small village, there was a boy named Ethan. He studied in the 6th grade at the local school. Ethan was quiet, kind, and gentle, but he wasn't very good at studies. His classmates often teased him, calling him slow and dull. Even his teachers didn't expect much from him. Ethan usually sat at the back of the classroom, feeling ignored and sad. Whenever he was asked a question, he would struggle to answer, and his classmates would laugh. It hurt Ethan, but he didn't say anything. At home, things were different. Ethan's mother believed in him and often told him, "Ethan, don't listen to others. Everyone has something special about them. You'll find your strength someday." These words gave Ethan some hope, even when things were tough. One day, the headmaster announced a competition for all students. The challenge was to create something useful for the school. The winner would get a scholarship to study in the city. Ethan felt nervous but also excited. A scholarship could change everything for him, but a small voice in his mind said, "How can I win? I'm not smart like the others." That evening, Ethan shared the news with his mother. She encouraged him, saying, "You don't have to be the smartest to win. You just need to think differently. Let's come up with something together." Ethan started observing his school and his classmates. He noticed that the students often struggled to carry water to their classrooms. The school had only one water pump, which was far from the building. Students had to make multiple trips with small buckets, which was tiring and time-consuming. Suddenly, an idea popped into Ethan's mind. What if I create something to help everyone carry water more easily? He thought. He shared his idea with his mother, who smiled and said, "That's a great idea. Let's start working on it." Over the next week, Ethan worked on his project. He used old wheels, wooden planks, and a large bucket to build a simple cart. His mother helped him, and little by little, his idea came to life. The cart had a bucket that could be rolled to the water pump, filled, and then brought back easily. On the day of the competition, Ethan was nervous. The other students had made colorful projects like posters and science experiments. When it was Ethan's turn, he rolled his water carrier onto the stage. The audience was silent. The headmaster asked, "Ethan, what have you made?" Ethan explained how his water carrier worked and how it could save time and effort for the students. The crowd listened carefully, and then, to Ethan's surprise, they started clapping. The headmaster smiled and said, "This is brilliant. It's simple, practical, and solves a real problem. Well done, Ethan." Ethan won the competition and the scholarship. His classmates, who used to tease him, now admired him. Even his teachers praised his creativity and hard work. Ethan felt proud and grateful. From that day, Ethan became a symbol of hope in his village. People realized that being dull or slow didn't mean someone couldn't succeed. With determination and the right support, anyone can shine. This story reminds us that we should never underestimate ourselves or others. Everyone has their own unique strengths. If you ever feel like you're not good enough, remember Ethan's story. Work hard, think differently, and believe in yourself. Thank you for listening to this story. Keep learning, growing, and believing in yourself. Hello, everyone. Today we bring you an exciting and inspiring story about a lion and an elephant. By the end of this story, you'll discover how courage and wisdom can overcome even the greatest challenges. But that's not all. Along the way, we'll also learn some new words and phrases to help improve your English in a fun and easy way. So stay with us until the end for a story you'll never forget. Once upon a time, in a vast jungle, there lived a proud lion named Leo. He was the king of the jungle, known for his strength and bravery. Leo was feared by all the animals, but deep inside, he felt lonely. One day, Leo decided to hold a meeting in the jungle. He wanted all the animals to come, and show their respect. Everyone gathered at the big clearing, but one animal was missing, the mighty elephant, Ellie. Ellie was the largest animal in the jungle, and she didn't fear Leo. She lived peacefully by the river and believed in fairness and kindness over power. Leo was angry. How dare someone ignore his call? He roared loudly, "Ellie, come here at once, or I'll come to you." The animals were terrified. They knew Leo was strong, but they also knew Ellie was wise and powerful. Ellie heard the roar and calmly walked to the clearing. The ground shook with every step she took. When she arrived, she looked at Leo and asked, "Why are you so angry, Leo?" Leo growled, "I am the king of this jungle. You must respect me and follow my orders." Ellie smiled and replied, "Respect is earned, not demanded. You may be strong, Leo, but strength alone doesn't make a great leader." The other animals were shocked by her courage. No one had ever spoken to Leo like that before. Leo felt humiliated and challenged Ellie to a contest. "If you think you're better than me, prove it. We'll have a competition tomorrow at sunrise," he roared. Ellie calmly agreed. "Very well, Leo. Let the jungle decide who is the true leader." The next morning, the animals gathered to watch the contest. The first challenge was a test of strength. Both Leo and Ellie had to pull a heavy tree trunk. Leo roared and pulled with all his might, dragging the tree a few feet. The crowd cheered. Then it was Ellie's turn. She used her strong trunk and powerful legs to pull the tree much farther than Leo. The animals clapped and cheered for Ellie, but Leo wasn't ready to give up. "Next challenge," he shouted. The second challenge was a test of speed. They had to race to the top of the hill. Leo ran as fast as he could, his muscles rippling with effort. But Ellie took a different path. Instead of running straight up, she used her knowledge of the jungle to find an easier trail. While Leo was exhausted by the steep climb, Ellie reached the top quickly and with ease. Leo was furious. "One last challenge," he demanded. "This will be the ultimate test. Who can bring back water from the river the fastest?" Ellie nodded. She knew this was her chance to teach Leo a lesson. Leo ran to the river and used his paws to scoop water into a leaf, but by the time he returned, most of the water had spilled. Meanwhile, Ellie filled her large trunk with water and calmly walked back, spilling nothing. She sprayed the water into a big bowl, winning the final challenge. The animals erupted into cheers. Ellie had proven that wisdom and calmness were more powerful than raw strength. Leo hung his head in shame. Ellie walked up to him and said, "Leo, being strong is important, but true leadership comes from using your mind and heart together." From that day on, Leo and Ellie worked together to lead the jungle. Leo learned to respect Ellie, and the animals lived happily under their shared guidance. This story teaches us that strength alone doesn't make a great leader. Wisdom, kindness, and teamwork are just as important. And remember, learning English is just like this story. Small, smart steps can lead to great success. So keep practicing, stay curious. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to share the incredible story of Babarg, a boy who was once the laziest and weakest student in school, but later became the richest person in the world. By the end of this story, you'll see how even the most unlikely person can achieve greatness with the right mindset. So stay tuned. It's a story you don't want to miss. Once, in a small town, there lived a boy named Babarg. He was famous, but not in a good way. Babarg was known as the laziest student in school. While his classmates studied, played sports, and joined clubs, Babarg spent his days napping, doodling, or scrolling through his phone. His grades were terrible, and his teachers often said, "Babarg, if you don't change, you'll fail in life." His parents were worried too. His father said, "Babarg, you need to work harder if you want a better future." Babarg would shrug and say, "What's the point? Hard work is overrated." One day, Babarg overheard a conversation between his classmates. They were talking about a famous billionaire who had dropped out of school but became successful by solving a simple problem people didn't realize they had. That idea stuck with Bebarg. He thought to himself, if someone else can do it, why can't I? But there was one problem. Bebarg had no idea what he was good at. He decided to start small. Instead of wasting time on his phone, he began reading articles and watching videos about successful entrepreneurs. One day while browsing, he stumbled upon a problem that no one seemed to have solved: how to make studying fun and engaging for students like him. That's when Bebarg had a light bulb moment. What if I create an app that combines gaming with studying, he thought. He didn't know anything about coding, but instead of giving up, he used his smarts. He convinced one of his tech-savvy classmates to help him build the app by promising to share the profits. For months, Bebarg and his friend worked on the app. At first, it didn't gain much attention, but Bebarg was determined. He reached out to schools, posted about it online, and even gave free trials to students. Slowly, the app became popular, and within a year, it was being used by schools all over the country. The app not only made studying fun, but also helped students improve their grades. Investors noticed the app's success and offered to fund Bebarg's company. By the time he was 25, Bebarg's app was a global success, and he was one of the richest people in the world. When people asked him how he did it, Bebarg would smile and say, "I wasn't the hardest worker, but I found something I loved and used my brain to solve a problem. That's all it takes." So if you ever feel like you're not good enough or too lazy to succeed, remember Bebarg's story. Success doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from finding your passion and working smart. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to share it with someone who needs a little inspiration. See you next time.